Hello. Good evening. Good evening. I'm kind of rolling around here in my chair, so if you hear the rolling, it's my chair. Here, I'm trying to get myself sorted out. Which one was on that one? Okay, there we go. Hello. Hi, John. Hello, Ellie, Cynthia. Hi. Yay, we're here. Yay. Terry. Ooh, Sparky. Hello. Kat. Good evening. Ellen. Kathy, Michelle, Jean Marie. Hi, oh my gosh, everybody. Hello, hello. Professional Spoonie. Oh no, you can't hit. Yeah, okay. They look for, oh yeah, we're here. We're here, Cynthia. We're going to be having some fun. I'm trying to keep my spirits up, everyone. It's not easy. It's not an easy task. Oh, Colette. Hello. Hello. Welcome. Daniel or Dania or Dania. Ooh, that's a pretty name. Annette, hi, hello. Cornelia, hello, hello. Oh, Vicky, Nancy. Oh my gosh, everyone! Wow, we got some good people here tonight. Welcome in. Welcome. Thanks for being flexible with the time. I had I did do I did a live this morning at 10 a.m. and then I wanted to get everything put together to kind of do a little bit different topic for the YouTube tonight. So it took me a little bit to get everything sorted out. So I appreciate you um, being flexible with me there. I appreciate it. YouTube sends notifications. Oh, great, great. Yes, yes. Oh, your sound liked. Oh, okay, okay. I understand. Hello, Nunya. Hello. Yeah, so there's been, oh my gosh, everybody, there's been so much going on. I tell you what, it's, it's like, oh, I'm gonna need y'all to calm down a little bit out here in the White House because they are flooding the zone for sure. Call your reps, and I'm in Texas. Uh, true. He does. Greg Abbott doesn't. Yeah, true. But you can still call them though, and that's the thing is they don't care. But if you are one of 100 people that call, then they might say, "All right, well," and it takes time too for them to talk with you and whatever. Um, I certainly have senators in my state that could care less. No, they couldn't care less. But I still call them up and still say, do your job, please. That's why you're hired. So good luck. You can still keep going in the same boat. Exactly, exactly. So making some noise. And also, I recommend not just talking to your people either. Go outside of your district. Go into, the committees that are handling bills you're worried about, or go into other states that are within your jurisdiction legally. So we've got batches of states that are covered by different circuits, and you can go there and say, hey, you're in my circuit, so let's talk. Florida with running meatball. Right? Oh my gosh, Mel. Yes, the meatball. I love it. Oh my gosh, I love it. Yeah, be good trouble. I love it. I love it. Exactly right. Yes. So, again, it's like, well, nobody likes to listen to caroling, right? But you still go up to the door and you still sing, right? Maybe not in Texas, but in other places. We still knock on doors and start singing, deck the halls, whether they like it or not, and that's fine. If they don't have a sign up, then it's fine. Oh my gosh, which, by the way, I do have a sign up. No caroling. I know the law. No one's getting by me. Oh my goodness gracious. That's so funny. Sorry, I'm cracking myself up here. All right, here we go. Are we working here? Are we frozen? Okay. Democratic City. Oh, well, that's all right then. Oh, it looks like am I frozen, everybody? I feel like I'm frozen. No, I'm not frozen. Oh, hold on. Man, I tell ya, my my Gen X is just on full display here. Oh, there we go. Okay, am I back? I'm asking myself that. My own stuff. I'm like, I don't think I'm back yet. Wait, hold on. Oh my goodness. Okay, no, I'm not frozen. Okay, well, that's good. Oh, wait. Oh, there's a delay. All right. Oh my gosh. Getting myself sorted out. All right, we're there. We're there. All good. Okay, good. I'll tell you what, everybody. I swear, I'm just. I wouldn't say I'm burnt out. I'm just at a point now where it's hard to distinguish between what's going on and what's not. And I think it's because I don't know about anybody else, but I've been having some troubles getting to sleep at night. That's been a bit of my pain in the keister at the moment. And I had forgotten. I had written myself notes during the first term, talking about how I just didn't get very good quality sleep. And then after Biden was elected, I like slept for a full week, and I was like, well, that was nice. So there you go. Oh no. Oh, Sarah. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear. Yes. Oh my gosh. Yeah, we'll get through it. We'll get through it. So tonight I had put up multiple options for what we could go over. And overwhelmingly, people wanted to talk about the executive orders. And I was so excited because, well, because I'm a dork, and the Federal Register now has the executive orders out. And they're all numbered, and I'm just like, oh, this is so nice. So high quality here. We love that. We love that. So I do have executive orders we can go through tonight. I'm planning to be going through a couple of those. And then I also had, and I cannot, forgive me, I'm terrible with names, but I also had someone who was talking about Elon Musk, right, in the Department of Treasury, and how things were getting a little bit confusing. So I wanted to check in with everybody on that, on where you're at with the Elon Musk situation, because we had a lawsuit filed against him. I mean, he has a lot of lawsuits filed against him, but we had this extra one. Here we go. We'll use this one tonight. This one's going to make us feel happy, right? So, raspberry lemonade. Yeah, all right. Lukewarm thoughts. Trouble sleeping and excessive pain. Oh my gosh. Oh, Kimberly. Yeah, I understand. Love to see him be harmed. Well, that would be nice, wouldn't it? Hello, Achilles. Welcome. So I thought real quick I would let everybody know, because I don't know if this has been in the media or not. I tell you what, the mainstream media, everybody, I know everyone's saying that. It's like an old person saying, get off the shed. But I mean, I really mean it. It's ridiculous. So we do have this case, and this was filed just a couple days ago in DC, and it's Alliance for Retired Americans, American Federation of Government Employees, so the AFL-CIO, Services Employees International Union here, versus Scott Bessent as the Secretary of the Treasury, Department of the Treasury, and Bureau of the Fiscal Service. So these three groups are suing the Department of Treasury because Mr. Musk is getting in there and messing around with the records. So, Raspberry Beret, oh, that is an amazing song. Oh, Prince, gone too soon. So let me just read a couple of paragraphs here, and then we do have an order that just came out regarding that too. So, complaint for declaratory and injunctive relief. The plaintiffs here, I'm going to just skip through all their names, file this action against defendants here in his official capacity as Secretary of the Treasury, Department of Treasury, and so on, that I just went through their names, for declaratory and injunctive relief to halt defendants' unlawful, ongoing, systematic, and continuous disclosure of personal and financial information contained in defendants' records to Elon Musk and other members of the so-called Department of Government Efficiency, or, Doge, Doge, this one, or to any other person. Millions of individuals engage in financial transactions with the federal government. The government collects trillions of dollars from individuals who pay their income taxes, obtain government services, and pay back loans and other debts that they owe. People also receive money from the federal government, Social Security, retirement, and disability payments, federal tax refunds, veterans benefits, and salaries and wages for federal workers are some examples of the payment transactions that occur between ordinary individuals and federal agencies. The job of effectuating these financial transactions for the federal government belongs to the Department of the Treasury, operating through the Bureau of Fiscal Service. To carry out its duties, the department collects and maintains sensitive personal and financial information about the individuals who are the counterparties to the transaction. Names, social security number, birthdates, birthplaces, home addresses, and telephone numbers, email addresses, and bank account information about millions of individuals are maintained within the department's records to enable the secure and timely transfer of funds between federal agencies and members of the public. So then this, we'll fast forward here just a little bit because they're 19-page complaints, and they do go into the jurisdiction, and then they go in and explain who they are, which there's a huge question about people in the organizations. Some of these organizations are in our older communities, in our older generations, and they're saying like, wow, they're in trouble plenty on their own. We don't need extra trouble coming in after them. So we've got the facts set out here, defendants' collection and maintenance of information on individuals. So I'll just read through a paragraph here. Defendants are responsible for managing the finances of the United States government. Their responsibilities include collecting receipts owed to the government and making payments to recipients of public funds, and then citing the statute. In the fiscal year 2024, Department processed nearly $5 trillion in receipts, including $2.4 trillion from individual income taxes, $1.7 trillion from Social Security taxes, and $530 billion from corporate income taxes. So nothing that Mr. Trump contributes to here. In that fiscal year, the department handled $6.752 trillion in outlays, including $1.46 trillion for Social Security payments and $874 billion in defense spending, which of course we knew that. The U.S. Treasury is the largest collections, payments, cash management, financial operations in the world. So we'll skip forward here just a little bit. So again, they're just going into how sensitive that information is here. Defendants' disclosure of bureau records on individuals to DOJ. So that information is being passed along to other people. And so, again, we're fast forwarding. This is what they're asking for. So this is what they are saying. Look, we need some assistance here from the courts. First, plaintiffs pray that this court declare the defendant's decision to implement a system by which Elon Musk or other DOJ-affiliated individuals may access the Bureau's records and obtain personal information about individuals and taxpayers contained there is unlawful. B, enjoin defendants from continuing to permit such access or obtain such personal information. Enjoin defendants to ensure the future disclosure of individual records will occur only in accordance with the Privacy Act, the Internal Revenue Code, and the SORNs applicable to the system of records at issue. Grant any temporary, preliminary, or permanent injunctive relief necessary to protect the privacy of individuals whose information is contained within the system of records. Award plaintiff their costs and attorney's fees for this action, and grant any other relief as this court deems appropriate. So definitely setting up like, you need to get yourself sorted out here. This is not appropriate. And again, we talked about that Privacy Act a little bit before everybody. I think it was like 1978 Privacy Act. So with that in mind, we do have an order then that was just done today. In case you were wondering, needs to issue everyone an IP identity. I wish they would. Yeah. Oh my gosh, I hate all that tax stuff. As you all know, I'm not a tax person here, but all right, so let's dive in. We have an order today out of the District of Columbia then in response here. So here's the order. With the consent of the parties, so they both agreed, the court defers ruling on plaintiff's motion for a temporary restraining order, which is what we just were going through, and orders as follows. The defendants will not provide access to any payment record or payment system of records maintained by or within the Bureau of Fiscal Service, except that the defendants may provide access to any of the following people. So they're saying, no, you can't have access to this information. We're all agreeing on it. Mr. Tom Kraus, a special government employee in the Department of the Treasury, as needed for the performance of his duties, provided that such access to the payment records will be read-only. Mr. Marco Elise, a special government employee in the Department of Treasury, as needed for the performance of his duties, provided that such access to payment records will be read-only. So again, they're saying you can't change it. So you might think, well, what do you mean read-only? That means I can't take it with you. Technically, what it means legally is that you can't change anything on that record. You can only read it. You can only look through it. Any person who's an employee but not a special government employee of the Department of Treasury and who has a need for the record or system of records and performance of their duties. So again, they're setting out only employees. So only employees of the Department of Treasury are going to have this kind of access. So no doggy people are allowed. Any person who's entitled to access the record or system of records under 5 U.S. Code Section 552, and any person who's entitled to access the relevant record or system of records under the Internal Revenue Code. All right, so if you are working at the Treasury and you are listed, you may look at those records, or if you have access given to you from the Internal Revenue Code. That's it. If you're not on that list, you are not allowed. Here, in agreeing to the entry of this order, the parties expressly reserve all legal and factual arguments relevant to the plaintiff's claims. So again, going back to that original complaint, this order shall remain in effect until such time as the court rules on the plaintiff's forthcoming preliminary injunction motion. So ordered today by Judge Colleen Collar Catelli. Here, lots of K's here. So again, this was just issued, and I'm not sure if it's making the rounds through the media yet, but this was a mutual agreement. Mutual agreement. Doge is not allowed in on this, on these kinds of records, not allowed. So mutual agreement, and I was pretty pleased about that, which also means if they try to push through and get access to this information, then they would be in violation of a court order. All right. So does that make sense to everybody to kind of clear up that situation with the Mr. Musk here? Because Mr. Musk is kind of, he's a bit worrisome. There was also another order that came out of the Department of Labor as well, very similar, that is saying that Musk cannot have access to labor information as well. Feel like it's already too late. Yeah, I think a lot of people feel that way. I don't think he cares. He's full speed ahead. True. Again, though, we do need to keep an eye on what happens from this point forward, because they're already building a case against him if he does violate it. Makes sense. Yeah, we're kind of tiptoeing here through the tulips with this Mr. Musk situation. You know what is not, and I don't like to bring in negativity, but it's a bit worrisome that the U.S. isn't the only government that Mr. Musk has been trying to kind of dive into, but it is the only government that has allowed it. Like he tried to do some stuff in the UK. I think in Germany he tried to do some stuff too, and they were all like, "I'm gonna need you to go." But then here in the US, it's like, "Yeah, come on in." Like, that doesn't make me feel great about that situation. You don't lose the fight unless you quit fighting. Well, or unless you get knocked out, then you can lose the fight if you get knocked out. Oh my goodness. I don't like to deal with that stuff. So I'm wearing a flannel. Oh, hey, we're twinning. That's so funny. Man, it's been cold out today, so extra layers. All right, now to celebrate our understanding of Mr. Musk's situation, here is again a list of, says he's immune as president to send who he chooses to dig up this information. So that's a great question, and I want you to remember when it comes to presidential immunity, the immunity applies to him being charged criminally for official acts. All right, so if we're going through this process where we are filing for injunctions, and we're filing for him to stop, whatever order he's trying to do. That's constitutional. That's like part of what the job is when you become president, is to, well, it's not to do illegal orders, but it is to get called out if your orders are bad. So that's absolutely fine. Immunity will not protect him from that. Hmm. Oh, really? Oregon? Oh no. Oh, that's too bad. Oh my gosh. Okay. What? Now stop bragging, Tay. You're bragging. Oh my goodness. Yeah. So again, just keep that in mind. Let's take a look here. We've got orders, executive orders up to January 31st. So the last few orders that have gone through are not included, but we still have plenty to work with, in my humble opinion here. Planted spyware in the system. Could have. But keep in mind again, how would they use that? How would they use that, and what kind of harm would be caused? And then what kind of remedy could be done? So if that was used, if that information was used improperly, then there are situations where we could call them out. So we've got here, there were a couple of these that looked really interesting. So unleashing prosperity through deregulation. Lame. We have to remember these titles are really ridiculous. Next, expanding education freedom and opportunity for families. Oh, and there was a weird part in this particular one. Nope, it's the next one. Sorry. Ending radical indoctrination of K through 12 schooling. Let's take a peek at that one, because there's some weird language in there. And I remember thinking, I need to show them on the YouTube the weird language so we can all be traumatized together. I'm not going through this trauma alone, everybody. Oh my goodness. All right, here we go. Expanding educational freedom here. So let me pull that order out. Here it is. Ending radical indoctrination in K through 12 schooling. All right, so this one is, this is Executive Order 14190. So let me read through this. It's not very long, everybody, but there's a particular piece in this that's kind of creepy. We'll see if you, we'll see if you can spot it. Here we go. So, by the authority vested in me as president by the Constitution and the laws of the United States of America, it is hereby ordered. Section 1, Purpose and Policy. Parents trust America's schools to provide their children with a rigorous education and to instill a patriotic administration for our incredible nation and the values for which we stand. In recent years, however, parents have witnessed schools indoctrinate their children in radical anti-American ideologies while deliberately blocking parental oversight. Such an environment operates as an echo chamber in which students are forced to accept these ideologies without question or critical examination. In many cases, innocent children are compelled to adopt identities as either victims or oppressors solely based on their skin color and other immutable characteristics. In other instances, young men and women are made to question whether they were born in the wrong body and whether to view their parents and their reality as enemies to be blamed. These practices not only erode critical thinking, but also sow division, confusion, and distrust, which undermine the very foundations of personal identity and family unity. I mean, right? Right? I mean, this is awful. This is so awful. I think Stephen Miller is the one writing this because it's just so atrocious. All right, imprinting, and it gets worse. Imprinting anti-American, subversive, harmful, and false ideologies on our nation's children not only violates long-standing anti-discrimination civil rights law in many cases, but usurps basic parental authority. For example, steering students towards surgical and chemical mutilation without parental consent or involvement, or allowing males access to private spaces designated for females may contravene federal laws that protect parental rights, including the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act, FERPA, and the Protection of Pupil Rights Amendment, PPRA, and sex-based equality and opportunity, including Title IX of the Education Amendment of 1972. Title IX, yeah, that's right. Similarly, demanding acquiescence to the white privilege or unconscious bias actually promote racial discrimination and undermine national unity. Oh, I know, it's a lot. This is a lot, everybody. My administration will enforce the law to ensure the recipients of federal funds providing K through 12 education comply with all applicable laws prohibiting discrimination in various contexts and protecting parental rights, including Title VI of the Civil Rights Act, Section 2. So this is the part that's also, yeah, exactly, everybody. We've been hearing so much about the birthright citizenship and the government funds. Meanwhile, this came down the pike too here. So it's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot. So here's the definitions, and this is another piece where I'm like, what? That's not quite right. Definitions as used herein. A, the definitions in the executive order defending women from gender ideology extremism and restoring biological truth to the federal government shall apply to this order. So he's referencing this other executive order. Discriminatory equity ideology means an ideology that treats individuals as members of preferred or disfavored groups rather than as individual, and minimizes agency, merit, and capability in favor of immoral generalizations, including that one, members of one race, color, sex, or national origin are morally or inherently superior to members of another race, color, sex, or national origin. Two, an individual, by virtue of the individual's race, color, sex, or national origin, is inherently racist, sexist, or oppressive, whether consciously or unconsciously. So I think they're talking about the implicit bias that we, try to explain to people how that works, how we all have implicit bias. It's just part of, being a human, but just recognizing it is, what you're supposed to do. Number three, an individual's moral character or status as privileged, oppressing, or oppressed is primarily determined by the individual's race, color, sex, or national origin. Four, members of one race, color, sex, or national origin cannot and should not attempt to treat others without respect to their race, color, sex, or national origin. An individual, by virtue of the individual's race, color, sex, or national origin, I'm just curious, like national origin, I think is a really important here. Bears responsibility for, should feel guilt, anguish, or other forms of psychological distress because of, should be discriminated against, blamed, or stereotyped for, or should receive adverse treatment because of actions committed in the past by other members of the same race, color, sex, or national origin, in which the individual played no part. So, yikes, here's another one. I mean, if we're just looking at this without knowing the background and who wrote it, it would be like, yeah, I think that's great. I don't think people should be discriminated against. I don't think there should be a privileged class over the others. But when you're looking at the background of it, and what comes next, you're like, whoa, this is a lot. Yeah, it sounds pretty terrible, pretty terrible. Next, again, these are just definitions. An individual, by virtue of the individual's race, color, sex, or national origin, should be discriminated against. So this is the piece here. Should be discriminated against or receive adverse treatment to achieve diversity, equity, or inclusion. 7, virtues such as merit, excellent, hard work, fairness, neutrality, objectivity, and racial colorblindness are racist or sexist or were created by members of a particular race, color, sex, or national origin to oppress members of another race, color, sex, or national origin. So this is where we start walking into the danger zone here of having Mr. Trump and his people starting to define certain words that, if used, could lead to some kind of sanction, because now we're into that First Amendment area. that is quite a bit of that's quite a bit of a problem. Um, yeah, sorry everybody. Am I going in and out of focus? Is this blurry? Are we blurry here? We shouldn't be blurry. I've got everything set. Okay, no worries. All right, yeah. Sorry, it's all automatic. I'm not fancy enough. Uh, I'm not fancy enough to know how that works. So next up, the United States is fundamentally racist, sexist, or otherwise discriminatory. C, Educational Service Agency, ESA, has a meaning given in 20 U.S. Code Section 1401, and the terms elementary school, local educational agency, secondary school, and state educational agency have the meanings given in 34 CFR. So that's the federal code here. It's fine. It just focuses on your hands sometimes. Okay, well, I'm not sure. I'm wondering if I could go a bit down further because our chat isn't covering it so much. There we go. Maybe this will be better here. There we go. We'll give it a whirl. We'll see. We'll see. All right. So this, interesting. And so this next piece is the part that kind of also had some red flags, in my humble opinion here. Um, others, right. So D, I'm sorry, everybody, that's Atticus over there. He's snoring. Patriotic education, everyone. This is what's kind of starting to be a little bit worrisome. Patriotic education means a presentation of the history of America grounded in one, an accurate, honest, unifying, inspiring, and ennobling characterization of America's founding and foundational principles. Two, a clear explanation of how the United States has admirably grown closer to its noble principles throughout its history. The concept that commitment to America's aspirations is beneficial and justified, and the concept that celebration of America's greatness and history is proper. So I'm going to pause for a minute because this, to me, out of everything I've read so far, and I've read a lot, this one is really smacking of 1930s Germany right here. Before that, I could see, well, we're going one way, we're going the other. This kind of language here is just pure propaganda, and it's a bit disturbing. So it's a little bit disturbing. I'm just going to put that out there. Oh, the contrast of the nail polish. Really? Oh, okay. Yeah, very national. Well, yeah, but even further, yeah, eugenics. Yeah, I think it's even a step further. But anyway, so yeah, this is that's questionable. Next, we've got social transition. So take a look at that, and then we've got another strategy coming up. So social transition means the process of adopting a gender identity or gender marker that differs from a person's sex. This process can include psychological or psychiatric counseling or treatment by a school counselor other provider modifying a person's name, e.g., Jane to James, or pronouns of him to her, calling a child non binary, use of intimate pronouns like him to her, oops, sorry, I skipped a line, using intimate facilities, thank you, and accommodations such as bathrooms or locker rooms specifically designated for persons of the opposite sex, and participating in school athletic competitions or other extracurricular activities specifically designed for persons of the opposite sex. Social transition does not include chemical or surgical mutilation. All right. Section 3. Yes. So this is Executive Order 8854, I think. Oops. Nope. That's the page number. Forgive me, everybody. Here we go. It's 14191 is the Executive Order. So Section 3, Ending Indoctrination Strategy. Oh my gosh. That's a lot, everybody. It's a lot. Oh, thanks, Kristen. Is it 2028 year? Oh my gosh. I know, it's a lot. It's a lot, everybody. And in my opinion, I think it's so interesting that we haven't really been talking about this. I mean, we've been dabbling, but the media's not dug in and actually gone through the specific language of what's going on here. So here's the plan. This is what's being ordered. So, ending indoctrination strategy. Within 90 days of the date of this order, to advise the president in formulating future policy, the Secretary of Education, the Secretary of Defense, and the Secretary of Health and Human Services, in consultation with the Attorney General, shall provide an ending indoctrination strategy to the president through the assistant to the president for domestic policy containing recommendations and a plan for, and here's the plan, number one, eliminating federal funding or support for illegal and discriminatory treatment and indoctrination in K through 12 schools, including based on gender ideology and discriminatory equity ideology. And two, protecting parental rights pursuant to FERPA, and with respect to any K through 12 policies or conduct implicated by the purpose and policy of this order. B, let's make sure we get this correct here. I want to make sure I've got the right page, and I don't. I think I'm flipped. Am I flipped? 53. Okay, here's 54. So I'm looking for 55. Oops, sorry about that. I was flipped. Here we go. B, ending indoctrination strategy submitted under subsection A of this section shall contain a summary and analysis of the following. Yeah, this is gross. It's a full plan, everyone. It's a full-on plan. All federal funding sources and streams, including grants or contracts that directly or indirectly support or subsidize the instruction, advancement, or promotion of gender ideology or discriminatory equity ideology. Yeah. An ending of indoctrination always calls for. Yeah, exactly. A, in K through 12 curriculum, instructions, programs, or activities, or in K through 12 teachers' education, certification, licensing, employment. Okay, so they can't even be taught about it or learn about it or training. Each agency's process to prevent or rescind federal funds to the maximum extent consistent with applicable law from being used by an ESA, SEA, or LEA, elementary school or secondary school, to directly or indirectly support or subsidize the instruction, advancement, or promotion of gender ideology or discriminatory equity ideology. So again, they're just talking about ideologies. So it's not, his big shtick was, the kids go to school as one thing and come home something else. This, they're just talking about, we can't even talk about ideologies here. Yeah. So that's it's disturbing. Again, when you're in a place where you're starting to hold certain views as illegal or not allowable without a negative sanction, it doesn't have to be jail. A negative sanction, of course, would be loss of funds. You're kind of getting into a world that is, violation of the Constitution. So each agency's process to prevent or rescind federal funds to the maximum extent here, and then I'm just going to skip down a little bit, everybody. Interference with a parent's federal statutory right to information regarding school curriculum, records, physical examinations, surveys, and other matters under here. A violation of Title VI or Title IX, and a summary and analysis of all relevant agency enforcement tools to advance the policies of this order. The Attorney General shall coordinate with state attorneys generals and local district attorneys in their efforts to enforce the law and file appropriate actions against K through 12 teachers and school officials who violate the law. Oh my gosh, can you imagine what this would be like to go into California? So the AG goes into California to talk to the California AG and be like, we got stuff to do. Like, I don't know about that. But we're trying to say who are violating the law by one, sexually exploiting minors, which, that's not appropriate. Unlawfully practicing medicine by offering diagnosis and treatment without the requisite license. Well, that of course is illegal, otherwise unlawfully facilitating the social transitions of a minor student. The assistant to the president for domestic policy shall regularly convene the heads of the agencies tasked with submitting the ending indoctrination strategy under subsection A of this section to confer regarding their findings, areas for additional investigation, the modification or implementation of their respective recommendations, and such other policy initiatives as matters as the president may direct. So this is pretty awful here. Now, this is pretty awful overall. And I wish I could say it doesn't get any worse, but it kind of does, in my opinion. Oh, yeah. It kind of does have another level of badness that kind of comes in where we're going to see this multiple times. I'm reading an executive order that was signed and implemented 14990 on January 29th of 2025 called Ending Racial Indoctrination of K through 12 Schooling that was signed by Trump. So here we go. Reestablishing the President's Advisory 1776 Commission and promoting patriotic education. So this little section, when Trump was in office the first time, was the yes, John, exactly. Thank you. That's actually very well stated. This was an executive order in and of itself, and here they've just put this paragraph in to this executive order. But the 1776 Commission was kicked out, of course, when Biden came in. So now it's back. All right, and it drives me crazy because 1776 is not the appropriate year for what they're trying to claim here, in my humble opinion. A, the President's Advisory 1776 Commission, which was created by Executive Order 13958 of November 2nd of 2020 to promote patriotic education, but was terminated by President Biden in Executive Order 13985 on January 20th of 2021, is hereby reestablished. Like, you're just putting this whole executive order in just a few sentences and reestablishing it. So, just keep that in mind. The purpose of the 1776 Commission is to promote patriotic education and advance the purpose stated in Section 1 of the Executive Order 13958, as well as to advise and promote the work of the White House Task Force on celebrating America's 250th birthday, which is really sad because our 250th birthday is next year, everybody. Yeah, so that's kind of sad. Here, and the United States Semi-Quincentennial Commission, in their efforts to provide a grand celebration worthy of the momentous occasion of the 250th anniversary of the American independence on July 4th, 2026. Sorry, it's in 2026, not 2025. Within 120 days of the date of this order, the Secretary of Education shall establish the 1776 Commission in the Department of Education. So everybody, it is so frustrating to me that they are using this 1776 year as like their bit. It's frustrating because we're declaring independence from King George. So who's King George in this scenario in 1776? Like, they're celebrating independence from the UK, from King George. Like, what does that have to do with anything? I still don't get it. It just drives me bonkers. How does the... Oh, exactly. Right. Oh, my gosh. Irony, using 1776 when we're seeking independence from the... Exactly. Oh, my gosh, John. Yes. And in the Declaration of Independence, which I've read multiple times, there are like everything that this person's been doing, right? So thank you very much. Yeah, that's a lot. Here, yeah, I know. Oh my gosh, it's tough. It's tough, everybody. All right, well, let's take a peek again because the more you know, the better you can feel about whatever. So here we go. The 1776 Commission shall have a chair or co-chairs. Again, this should be its own executive order. It doesn't need to be smushed into this, but whatever. At the president's discretion, and a vice chair who shall be designated by the president from among the commission's members. An executive director designated by the Secretary of Education in consultation with the assistant to the president for domestic policy. How are they getting paid? Can we ask that question? Where's the money coming from? Because I thought we were supposed to be tightening everything up here. How do we the people? Oh my gosh. Oh, good point. Good point. All right, so here's the design, and then let's talk about what they're wanting from the 1776. There was a whole report that they put out, and as I was reading it, I didn't understand parts of it, and I think honestly it's because, my perspective as a female is different. All right, the 1776 commissions shall, so this is what their goals are here. Facilitate the development and implementation of a presidential 1776 award to recognize student knowledge of American founding, including knowledge about the founders, the Declaration of Independence, the Constitutional Convention, and the great soldiers and battles of the American Revolutionary War. I think that's fine. I don't see anything wrong with this, in my opinion. I think that's fine. Okay, this is fine. This is great. Like if you could sprinkle some math in there, it would be perfect. So I'm okay with this one. Let's see the next one. In coordination with the White House office, nope, I'm already out. If you're coordinated with the White House, no thanks. Of public liaison, coordinate bi-weekly lectures, what? Regarding the 250th anniversary of American independence that are grounded in patriotic educational principles, which shall be broadcast to the nation throughout the calendar year of 2026. Oh my gosh, is this 1984, everybody? Oh my goodness gracious. Oh my gosh, everyone. Are we all going to be like required to go and stand in front of our televisions at a certain time when they're putting this out to everyone at the same time? And then we have a button and we have to push on the button in order to agree or disagree. And if you disagree, then your spouse can like turn you in. Oh my gosh. This is awful. Oh my gosh. No. This is like, oh my gosh. Okay. I'm really worried about that. Oh my gosh. Military parade like Russia. Oh my goodness gracious. We're gonna have to do this crap. I don't know. Yeah, red alert. Red alert, everybody. This is a red alert. This is really bad. This is so bad. No, we don't want to do that. I wonder if I should make a post about this and just be like, hey, go to executive order and here's this section and let me know what you think. All right. Yes, number 2, in coordination with the White House Office of Public Liaison, coordinate bi-weekly lectures regarding the 250th anniversary of American independence that are grounded in patriotic education principles, which shall be broadcast to the nation throughout the calendar year of 2026. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I know. Yeah, I don't want to do it. All right. Upon request, advise executive departments and agencies regarding their efforts to ensure patriotic education is appropriately provided to the public at national parks. They do that already. They certainly do that. Who hasn't been to a national park, right? Of course. I mean, I tell you what, some of those rangers there are just should be president. They're so knowledgeable. Battlefields, monuments, museums, installations, landmarks, cemeteries, and other places important to the American founding and American history as appropriate and consistent with applicable law. We already do that. And I'm wondering, it's just saying Americans, but it's not saying anything about the indigenous peoples. Does anyone notice that? My TV doesn't get those channels. Oh my gosh. This is coming from hate or mental illness. Oh my gosh, I don't know. That's a great question. And where are indigenous people? They're at the founding of the country too, right? I mean, come on. Oh my goodness gracious. All right. Number 4, Upon request, offer advice and recommendations to and support the work of the Task Force 250 and the United States semi-quincensial semi kins you know what I'm saying, everybody, the commission regarding their plans to celebrate the 250th anniversary of American independence. I bet if you showed this word to Mr. Trump, he'd be like, yeah, I'll take 2 of those, and I want extra ketchup. Has determined this to be a false reading of the executive order. What are you talking about? You're out your mind. That is incorrect. This is completely true. What's weird is that it was written. That's what's weird. All right, number 5. Facilitate, advise upon, and promote private and civic activities nationwide to increase public knowledge of and support patriotic education surrounding the 250th anniversary of American independence as appropriate and consistent with applicable law. So, again, I don't think there's anything wrong with this particular one. If we go through that, the White House isn't involved, so that's good. Next, the Department of Education. Well, why don't we? That's the last troll. That's all right. That's all right. But we're not going to have a Department of Education. So they've put in here, the Department of Education shall provide funding and administrative support for the 1776 Commission. So the Department of Education is supposed to pay for this commission? So this commission that's being recreated is now funded by the Department of Education. Right. Oh my gosh, it's so frustrating. Yeah, okay. So, yeah, I don't care for that one. All right. I don't know. Maybe I should just do a post on this. I might do that. Okay, moving forward, members of the 1776 Commission shall serve without compensation. Oh, well, all right. They're not getting paid. That's good. But they still have to rent space in probably one of Trump's hotels, right? But as approved by the Department of Education, shall be reimbursed for travel expenses. See, that's what I'm saying, including per diem in lieu of a subsistence authorized by law for persons serving intermittently in the government service. That's just madness. We're just in freaking madness land here, everyone. This is ridiculous. Oh my gosh, the sesquicentennial, yeah. Those were the days. Insofar as Chapter 10 of Title 5, United States Code, commonly known as the Federal Advisory Committee Act, may apply to the 1776 Commission, any functions of the President under the Act, except that of reporting to Congress, shall be performed by the Secretary of Education in accordance with the guidelines issued by the Administrator of General Services. So this whole piece here, he's shoving in to this executive order in order to have the Department of Education take care of all of it. So, it's like he's combining 2 things so that, the money comes from there as opposed to where it was coming from before. The 1776 Commission shall terminate 2 years from the date of this order. Well, that's all right, unless extended by the President. So 2-year expiration, which in my opinion is still 2 years too long, but at least it doesn't go on forever. Section 5, additional patriotic education measures. All right, let's take a look at that. All relevant agencies shall monitor compliance with this section we're coming down to the end here, everyone. Public Law 107-447, which provides that each educational institution that receives federal funds for a fiscal year shall hold an educational program on the United States Constitution on September 17th. Oh my gosh, yes, do that, please, for the love of Peach. And I would say Mr. Trump should go to that first one. Oh, sticky note. Oh, here we go. Wait, here it is. I was holding it on my other side here. Executive order. Oh my gosh. Executive order, and we can't remember the numbers, so we have to go back. We're going back. Number 14190. 14190. Here we go. All right, and this was January 29th. January 29th. All right, here we go. So that's good. I say, yeah, go forward on that. Acknowledgement of such year for the students served by the educational institution. Although, honestly, doesn't every school require one semester of American government? And I think, though, that is required through state law. I don't think that that's federal law. Some identify with, or is it more referring to? I don't know. Sharpies are better for sticky notes. Oh, good point. Good point. All right, noted. Thank you. Included by verifying compliance with each educational institution and receives federal funding. All relevant agencies shall take action as appropriate to enhance compliance with the law. All relevant agencies shall prioritize federal resources consistent with applicable law to promote patriotic education, including through the following programs: Department of Education's American History and Civics Academics and American History and Civics Education National Activities Programs, Department of Defense's National Defense Education Program and Pilot Program on Enhanced Civics Education. I've not heard of this before. Yes, I agree. I believe this is Stephen Miller. I agree. I mean, the paper themselves are frosty. All right, the Department of State's Bureau of Educational and Cultural Affairs and Fulbright U.S. Speaker and International Visitor Leadership Programs, as well as the American Spaces Network. Section 6, General Provisions. Nothing in this order shall be construed to impair or otherwise affect the authority granted by law to an executive department or agency or the head thereof, or the functions of the director of the Office of Management and Budget relating to budgetary, administrative, and legislative proposals. This order shall be implemented consistent with applicable law and subject to the availability of appropriations. Oh my gosh. This order is not intended to, nor does it create any right or benefit, substantive or procedural, enforceable at law or in equity by any party against the United States, its departments, agencies, or entities, its officers, employees, or agents, or any other person. Whoa, everybody. Here we go. Look at this. Let's check this one out here. This order is not intended to and does not create any right or benefit. Ooh, this looks very interesting. I would say that would be contestable because when we're talking about federal funds, all right, so the benefit here is if you follow this, you will get federal funds, but if you don't, you won't. So we're not talking about the creation or elimination of rights, but we are talking about the benefit or the removal of the benefits of federal funding. Ooh, that could be a pretty big piece that could be challenged then for sure. Yeah, I don't know if he has a high school diploma. That's a great question. That's a great question. Yeah, so I would say this piece of it is definitely questionable. The other bits and bobs, again, our curriculum, those kinds of things, we just have to remember that we have a federal versus state issue, and the feds cannot come walking into the state's territory when it comes to that. Is that bottom one? Yeah, yep, sounds about right. Oh, in an earthquake, you can't feel, well, true. I mean, we're definitely, I wouldn't say that we're in a particularly comfortable place, but on the other hand, nobody does court like Americans, so we don't play around when it comes to the courts. So I think this will be the year of litigation. It'll be the 4 years of litigation, and that'll be very interesting to watch. I feel sick to my stomach. Oh, I know. It's not good. All right. COVID lock. Well, right. All right. So let's look through some more here, and I'll just kind of let you know what some of these are that I have gone through. And I would like to go through more. I'm not sure we're going to have time tonight, but I would definitely like to go through some more. Celebrating America's 250th birthday, so that's a whole thing. It gets its own order. Additional measures to combat anti-Semitism. Well, that's interesting. That's only 2 pages. Should we take a look at that real quick? I would be very interested to see what their plan is to combat anti-Semitism. Let's just take a peek at that, shall we? Oh, here's the Iron Dome for America. Oh my gosh, I don't want an Iron Dome. Here we go. Additional measures. This is only 1 page. I mean, it's printed on 2 sides. So let's take a look. Let me get my proper sticky note this time. Do the proper sticky note. Sorry, that's my chair rolling around, everybody. Over here. And, oh, look at that. Got my Sharpie out. Got my Sharpie here. So we are going to do executive order here. Executive order. Number 14188. And this was put into place January 29th. And we're going to say additional measures. I'm going to shorten this here. Measures. To combat anti-Semitism. Tism. There we go. All right, here we go. Let's take a look and see what we've got. Again, it's only about 1.5 pages. Can we hear Atticus snoring? Oh, that'd be so funny. Atticus. Nope, he's not snoring right now. He stopped snoring. He's like, I only perform for treats. Goodness gracious. Oh my gosh. How will history record these days? Well, I don't know, but I tell you what, there's going to be some recording because this situation is bananas. This is absolutely bonkers. He heard you talking, I know. Oh, all right, let's dive in. Here we go, everybody. Additional measures to combat anti-Semitism here. So by the authority vested in me as president by the Constitution and the laws of the United States of America, it's hereby ordered. Section 1, purpose. My administration has fought and will continue to fight anti-Semitism in the United States and around the world. On December 11th of 2019, I issued an executive order, 13899, my first executive order on combating anti-Semitism, finding that students in particular faced anti-Semitic harassment in schools and on university and college campuses. Executive Order 13899 provided interpretive assistance on the enforcement of the nation's civil rights laws to ensure that they would protect American Jews to the same extent to which all other American citizens are protected. Well, honestly, I'm not sure about that, but okay. The prior administration effectively nullified Executive Order 13899 by failing to give the terms of the order full force and effect throughout the government. This order reaffirms Executive Order 13899 and directs additional measures to advance the policy thereof in the wake of the Hamas attacks of October 7th of 2023 against the people of Israel. Oh my gosh, really? Are we doing this? My goodness. These attacks of October 7th, 2023 against the people of Israel, right? These attacks unleashed an unprecedented wave of vile anti-Semitic discrimination, right? Vandalism and violence against our citizens, especially in our schools and on our campuses. Jewish students have faced an unrelenting barrage of discrimination, denial of access to campus common areas and facilities, including libraries and classrooms, and intimidation, harassment, and physical threats and assault. Oh, come on. This is really, oh my gosh. A joint report by the House Committee on Education and the Workforce, Energy and Commerce, Judiciary Oversight and Accountability, Veterans Affairs, and Ways and Means calls the federal government's failure to fight anti-Semitism and protect Jewish students astounding. This failure is unacceptable and ends today. Number 2, policy. It shall be the policy of the United States to combat anti Semitism vigorously, using all available and appropriate legal tools, to prosecute, remove, or otherwise hold to account the perpetrators of unlawful anti Semitic harassment and violence. I agree. I absolutely agree with this. But let's continue on. Section 3, additional measures to combat campus anti-Semitism. Within 60 days of the date of this order, the head of each executive department or agency shall submit a report to the president through the assistant to the president for domestic policy, identifying all civil and criminal authorities or actions within the jurisdictions of that agency beyond those already implemented under Executive Order 13899. That might be used to curb or combat anti-Semitism and containing an inventory and analysis of all pending administrative complaints as of the date of the report against or involving institutions of higher education alleging civil rights violations related to or arising from post-October 7th, 2023 campus anti-Semitism. All right, I'm going to pause for a second, everybody. The more I read these executive orders, I mean, again, this whole stack is executive orders, and not even the ones from February yet. The more I read each one, I see that he is asking for the agencies, the people in the agencies, those running the agencies, to gather information and submit a report to him. So my question then is, I mean, how do you ask an agency to put together a report? Can you just say to the leader of the agency, hey, can you put this report together for me? Like in a memo form? Like, do we need to have an executive order? Because my thought is this executive order is just all for a shock and awe, right? It's all for, oh my gosh, he just wrote something about, whatever in an executive order, and that's going to be the end of the world. And meanwhile, the first few paragraphs are saying how bad Biden was and how bad everything is. And then after that, he's just saying, so I want you to give me a report. Is anyone else getting that feeling here? I mean, we're not, going forward with some kind of new ideas or anything. I mean, the birthright citizenship, he just went and said, well, we're going to just change some of the language. But I mean, over and over and over again, we're just seeing here, well, we want to establish this new committee, or I want a full report on how everything gets done. Loyal people in place so he can, right, I agree. But the fact that he's putting it in an executive order form, like, this is unnecessary. I haven't even finished reading it. This is absolutely unnecessary. He is referring to an executive order that's already in place. It's not used as much as he would have liked, but it's not gone. And so he's saying now, in addition, I want you to write me a memo, right? Exactly. It could have been a memo, and it should have been. Color code that idea. Oh, should I? I don't know. Talk about wasting. Yeah. But I think also when we start pulling away the curtain here, and we start to see that this is performative, it's like he's running a game show, right? So, I mean, let's see what we can do to get the audience to gasp. That's kind of how I'm feeling right now. I mean, this is totally unnecessary. So, I mean, I like the idea. I think the idea is great. Of course, we should combat anti-Semitism. Of course, we should. But the way that he wants to combat it is to have them write him a report. So, oh yeah, the Truman Show. Like, I don't know, everybody. This is starting to give me the heebie-jeebies. Let's see if we can finish this up here. The report submitted by the Attorney General under this section shall additionally include an inventory and an analysis of all court cases. What? as of the date of the report against or involving institutions of higher education alleging civil rights violations related to or arising from post October 7th, 2023 campus anti-Semitism, and indicate whether the Attorney General intends to or has taken any action with respect to such matters, including filing statements of interest or intervention. What? So, like, he's telling the Attorney General, like, dude, put together a report for me of all the past cases, right? What? The Attorney General is encouraged to employ appropriate civil rights enforcement authorities, which goes against what he's already written on civil rights enforcement. So that's weird. Here, to combat anti Semitism. So, very specific. The report submitted by the Secretary of Education. So we've got the AG needs to put together a report. The Secretary of Education needs to put together a report. Under this section shall additionally include an inventory and an analysis of all Title IX complaints and administrative actions, including K through 12 education, related to anti-Semitism, pending or resolved after October 7th of 2023 within the Department's Office for Civil Rights. Oh my gosh, everybody. Oh my goodness gracious. So he's asking for inventory. So, oh my gosh. In past cases, like, this is just crazy. It's not crazy to ask these questions or ask for this information. What's crazy is to put it into an executive order, right? I mean, come on. In addition to identifying relevant authorities to curb or combat anti-Semitism generally required by this section, the Secretary of State, all right, now we've got another person here, Secretary of State, the Secretary of State, the Secretary of Education, and the Secretary of Homeland Security, now we've got another one, Secretary of Homeland Security, here, in consultation with each other shall include in their reports recommendations for familiarizing institutions of higher education with the grounds for inadmissibility under 8 U.S. Code Section 1182, so that such institutions may monitor for and report activities by alien students. What? By alien students and staff relevant to those grounds, and for ensuring that such reports about aliens lead as appropriate and consistent with applicable law to investigations and, if warranted, actions to remove such aliens. What the heck is that? So, what? You're trying, what? Oh my gosh. So, all right. So we're combating anti-Semitism by looking for people to deport? What? What? Oh my gosh. This is just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Copy and paste gone wrong. Oh my goodness gracious. Oh my gosh. Like, do we have to pull in that piece on everything? Oh my gosh. All right, next up, I'm gonna have to bank this until later because it is just ridiculous. Section 4, general provisions. Nothing in this order shall be construed to impair or otherwise affect the authority granted by law to an executive department or agency or head thereof, or the function of the director of the Office of Management and Budget relating to budgetary, administrative, or legislative proposals. This order shall be implemented consistent with applicable law and subject to the availability of appropriations. This order is not intended to and does not create any risk, any right or benefit here. So, and then, oh my gosh, everybody, seriously, let's go back. I'm seeing spots. Everybody. I'm seeing the spots. Deportation for an anti-Semitism report. I know. Oh my gosh. I mean, I'm sorry, everybody. Mind blown. Look at this. This is my mind. It's been blown. All right, let's double check. Additional measures to combat anti-Semitism, which is a great idea. Let's combat that. And then what he wants are reports from different agencies. And then he also wants let's just read this one again. Let's one more time, everyone. Let's do one more time around the sun on this paragraph. In addition to identifying relevant authorities to curb or combat anti-Semitism generally required by this section, all right, the Secretary of State, the Secretary of Education, the Secretary of Homeland Security is a consultation with each other shall include in their reports recommendations for familiarizing institutions of higher education with the grounds for inadmissibility under Section 8 U.S. Code. Let's look that up real quick. I'm wondering now what that is. So 8 U.S. Code, Section 1182, and we're at subsection A3. So let's just look and see, because I have a feeling I know what this section is, and I'm concerned, and I have concerns. Inadmissible aliens. Aliens who are inadmissible under the following paragraphs are ineligible to receive visas and ineligible to be admitted to the United States. So, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay, so what he's saying here, the Secretary of Education, the Secretary of State, and Homeland Security consulting need to include in their reports how to familiarize institutions of higher education, so college and universities, regarding inadmissible aliens. So this is a teaching situation where they are wanting to tell institutions of higher education so that such institutions may monitor for and report activities by alien students and staff relevant to those grounds, and for ensuring that such reports about aliens lead as appropriate and consistent with the applicable law to investigations, and if warranted, actions to remove such aliens. Wow. Yeah, Hunger Games, everybody. Wow, that's bad. That's really bad. We're having a bad moment, everyone. I'm having a bad moment. I don't, what? This is, oh my goodness gracious. Yeah, they want immigrant students watched, exactly. And so they're telling 3 huge areas. Notice though that the Attorney General's not here, right? The Attorney General does have a list of things that they need to do. Oh my gosh, this is awful. All right. So this is awful. Oh my gosh. All right, I'm gonna have to, oh my gosh, everybody. I'm gonna have to think about this for a while. This was so bad. This is so bad. Oh my goodness. All right. Well, there we go. That took an unexpected turn, everyone. So we were able to do 2 executive orders tonight. We did executive order 14190, which has to do with patriotic education, reestablishing the 1776 commission, whatever. So we went through that, and then our anti-Semitism stuff, and including additional information on undocumented people. This is a lot to take in. I know. You think this will be stopped in courts? Well, the thing is, I'm not sure, because, and again, we reached this point, everyone, where I'm not really sure that there's an actual action here that would be something you could litigate, other than they're just telling higher institutes on how to go about this situation with undocumented people. I cannot call them aliens. I just can't do it. So maybe this section would be discriminatory under the 14th Amendment, equal protection. It's possible. But the rest of this, he's just asking them to collect information. So again, this could have been a memo. This didn't have to be an executive order, except, again, that piece about monitoring people that they think have somehow violated the immigration code on here. So that might be part of it. But I'm not sure there would be any grounds. Now, the other executive order, yeah, I think we've got some grounds. Because when we were looking through this order, behind every single thing we went through, they were saying, we're going to take your funding. We're going to take your funding. So you do what we say, or we're going to take your funding. That would show some kind of a harm that would be done if they didn't follow what they were told specifically. So that was a benefit that would be removed. So I would say this one definitely would have some grounds, but I think you would struggle on this one because they're not really asking for anything that would be harmful overall, except for that immigration piece. Underway for decades. True. Confuse and just do what they want. Yeah, I think so. I think that is the point. And then the other piece too is to sneak in authorization for these federal people to go forward to inform institutes of higher education about immigration stuff. Yeah, I agree. It's hard to believe all of this is really happening. Yeah, well, yeah, it is. And, I tell you what, though, everybody, that one of the things that, if I've learned nothing else over the last few years, one of the things, and it was how Michelle Obama put it so much better than I will, which is, when you shine a light onto, the darkness, then you start to see how awful it is. Like, we still have to deal with all the cockroaches coming out of the dark, but we can see them now. It's not that they weren't there, it's just we can see them. And so now we've got to go after them. And it's awful. In my house, everybody would just, put the rug down and go the other direction. Like, I'm not doing it. I'm not going after the roaches. But now we have no choice. We have to go after the roaches. Oh, we have to go. Oh my gosh, it's a stinkeroony. Oh yeah, exactly. I know, Rain, turn the lights off. Oh my gosh, exactly. Oh, Michelle, I know. Oh my gosh, Michelle. Where's the, Michelle Obama signal instead of the bat signal? Like, what do we shine into the sky? Like, I don't know. I think like a wholesome meal. Veggies from my garden. Like, what would be her beacon? We need to shine something up there. Oh my gosh. Miss Obama, can you come and help us? We need help. Or like a picture of a gym or something. I don't know. She's so healthy. She's done with us. I think she's flitting around the edges here. But, you can't help people that don't want your help. And there's a lot of people in this country that don't want our help, right? And so right now, we have to focus on helping ourselves get through the trauma. There's too much trauma now. I'm so traumatized. I'm like, la, 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 anti-Semitism, let's do this. And then it's like, we hate people, blah, blah, blah. Like, come on. Oh, my gosh. Oh, my goodness gracious. Yeah. So this is going to be the year of the courts, year of the lawyers. We're going to need more lawyers, everybody. We're going to need a bigger boat. So there's that. My goodness. Oh my gosh. I don't even know what I'm going to do. I need to post something that includes this language because it's just, oh my gosh. Well, anyway, everybody. So hopefully we've learned a few things tonight. We did go and walk through the Elon Musk in the Treasury Department. Like, he needs to, back away. So that's good. And then we've got a couple of executive orders in here. Which again, I would say this could have definitely have been a memo, in my opinion. Pull the serious. Yeah, I agree. And there are some rules against pulling funding like that. Yeah, over everything that's been happening. I know. Yeah, they're absolutely giddy about it. And that's, again, because of the roach issue. They're like, oh, look, there's other roaches. So they are congregating together. Oh my gosh. Maybe they thought they were the only roach. But now they're making little communities. And my goodness gracious, it's hard to get rid of roaches. Oh my goodness gracious. Yes, breathing does matter. Absolutely, VC. Absolutely. So, and I thought that was a great piece that Hawk and Falcon were doing on YouTube yesterday. Was it yesterday? Gosh, it feels like it's been 6 weeks already. But when they were talking about, regulating your central nervous system or whatever that science stuff says you're supposed to do, and Falcon was talking about that and figuring out how to kind of regulate. That's so important right now. I mean, we can all go hide, but in the end, we still get up and there's still roaches everywhere. So, yeah, exactly. But on the plus side, according to AOC, and I believe that woman with all my heart, there aren't as many roaches as we think. So there's that. There's that piece. Going to sleep now. Yes. Great scene. Oh, sure. Of course. So, and that's a good reminder too that I need to go ahead and let everybody go here. This is my second live for today, and I have been recording posts on the lawsuits being filed against the executive orders, everyone. So, watch for those. Those will be coming at you rapid fire. So, with that, I will say, fare thee well, my friends. Thank you all for coming and joining and hanging out with me and being traumatized with me. Oh my gosh, we're not alone in the trauma. I may need to go eat some ice cream now. Fly swatters. Well, right. I've got a shoe. That's about what I've got. So have a great night. I'll be back again very soon. And just as a friendly reminder, I may hop over to TikTok every now and then, but where I'm hoping to be primarily is to make the full move over here to the YouTube. So take care, everyone. Have a great night, and I will see you